Now, notice I'm mixing well. I'm scraping around the corners. Always scrape around your edges. Pull it up through it, because if you're going to unmix the epoxy, it'll be in those corners. It's another reason to let it go off in the container, because that'll let you know very fast if you mix properly. Because if you've got any unmixed epoxy sitting down in those corners, when you pull the dried stuff out, you'll know you haven't mixed properly. So you need to put more effort into it. Now I'm just going to show you. See how we got bugger all air bubbles in that? Right? By warming your resin a bit, you end up with bugger all air bubbles in your epoxy. Right, away we go. We're going to coat. Now you'll notice I've got some plastic down here. I'm going to cheat something chronic today. Absolutely cheating. And that's the aim of this, is to show you how you can take shortcuts. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to coat inside our bezel first and the bottom of it. And epoxy won't stick to plastic. So what it does, I'm going to sit this down on the plastic after I coat the bottom of it. And who gives a damn with the liquid on the bottom? Yeah, one, it'll seal it. Sit him down and away we go. Oh, this is drawing in beautiful. Now there's a crack around here somewhere. I want to fill that first. There we go. I don't know that I'm filming all this, but anyway. Oh, look at this. Look at the grain come out in that. Looks magnificent. No air bubbles, because what's happening, the timber's cooling down as we go, and it's wanting to draw air in, not expel it. So there's another tip to keep air bubbles out of your epoxy. If you can warm up, stick your job out in the sun, stick it in the microwave for little things like this before you do your first coat, you'll end up with something that's Mickey Mouse. Now, by the time we finish this, we'll have something that'll look like varnish. And I'll show you a couple other tips when we get into our second and third coat too. I might even do it here, just to make sure we've got no air bubbles, because there are a few really fine ones on the surface. But what I'll do, I'll mist some metho over it in about 10 minutes time. Notice we've got quite a bit of boat coat left over. I'll go and find something to put that on. I hate wasting the stuff, so I normally have packing boxes and that we pack all our gear in to go to shows hanging around, and we'll pack it in that. Notice we've got some boat coat hanging around the bottom. We'll cut that out after it's cured. And if you look, there are some air bubbles there, but I'm not worried about them. We'll hit that with a metho and it'll look like $1 million. And that's as easy as it is. I reckon that'll be gelled and ready to put our next coat on in 10 to 15 minutes. I found a generous donor for the boat coat. I'm filling a crack. Now normally I wouldn't pour the boat coat straight in like this, but it's an open crack. I've got very dilute resin, and notice I haven't poured right to the end, because the air will go out, come up through the ends, and it'll draw the boat coat down into it. And actually these are off a packing crate. But beautiful. I've sealed that in, but dense and really nice pieces of timber. I'll probably turn something up out of these. They're too good to waste. They've got so much character. Now look at it. The colour is going to be magnificent in those. Might even split them down into something. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. But I hate seeing good stuff go to waste, even if it does come out of a packing crate. See how that's drawing down into the timber? So look, our ends are filled up. Notice I sealed the end with duct tape, and epoxy won't stick to plastic. Duct tape's brilliant for sealing up the ends on things to throw your excess resin in. So don't waste your leftover resin, use it. It's too valuable to waste. Alright, I just nuked this piece of timber for a minute. Got some fine cracks in that in it. Bit of leftover boat coat. I'm going to use it to see if it'll draw down in those cracks. This is just warmed a touch, so it's not too hot, but that's alright. It'll help the boat coat go into it. Now this fella, Now that we've got him full of resin, I'm going to have a go at nuking him as well. We'll just stick him in there for a minute and warm that up. That'll help pull that epoxy down in that crack. You might find initially there'll be a heap of air bubbles come out, so we'll give it a go and see what happens. Enjoy that, baby.